Hello and welcome back to the Simply English podcast. I'm Sarah, your host, and today we have an episode that is truly special. Today's episode is all about the life and legacy of Abdul Sattar Edhi, how he changed the world. A man who built one of the world's largest humanitarian foundations and dedicated his entire life to helping those in need without ever asking for anything in return. And to discuss his extraordinary journey, I have my good friend John here with me. Welcome, John.
Hey, Sarah, thanks for having me. And wow, what an introduction. Honestly, just hearing his name gives me chills because this man was one in a million. You know, we talk a lot about heroes in history, but Edhi? He was a hero of humanity itself. And I think more people, especially our listeners, should know about his story.
Absolutely, John. And for those who might be hearing his name for the first time, let's start with a simple question. Who was Abdul Sattar Edhi?
Great question. So imagine this, Pakistan, 1950s. There's this young man, only about 20 years old, who looks around and sees so much suffering. Orphans, abandoned children, sick people dying because they can't afford medical care, elderly people left alone with no one to take care of them. And instead of just feeling bad about it, he decides to take action. With no money, no sponsors, no political connections, just a heart full of kindness, he sets up a small free clinic in Karachi. One tiny room. That's it. And from that one room, he builds a humanitarian empire. Blast off.
That's just incredible. And what amazes me the most is that Edhi never cared about race, religion, or status.
Exactly. He had one simple rule. If someone needs help, help them. He would say, no religion is higher than humanity. And he actually lived by this. His foundation didn't just help Muslims or Pakistanis, he helped everyone. Think about this. He rescued Hindu children left on the streets. He cared for Christian and Sikh patients in his hospitals. He even buried the unclaimed bodies of people no one else cared about.
Wow, that just hits different. Ugh. I mean, in a world where we often see so much division, Edhi was a reminder that at the end of the day, we are all human first. But John, let's be honest, it couldn't have been easy. I'm sure he faced a lot of challenges.
Oh, absolutely. At first, people didn't trust him. They thought, who is this man? What's his real agenda? Some people even spread rumors about him. Can you believe that? He was arrested once because people thought he was too powerful as a charity leader. Imagine that, being arrested for helping too many people.
That's just heartbreaking. But you know what's inspiring? He never fought back with anger, never lashed out. He just kept working, kept helping, kept serving. And that's why people eventually saw the truth, that he was pure at heart. And because of his unstoppable dedication, his foundation grew into something massive.
World's largest ambulance network, saving millions of lives. Over 60,000 abandoned children rescued and given homes.
Free hospitals and clinics for anyone in need. No questions asked.
And guess what? Through it all, he never took a single penny for himself. Even when his charity handled billions, he continued living in a tiny one-room apartment, wore simple clothes, and never owned a fancy car. One journalist once asked him, "Why don't you live in a bigger house?" And he smiled and said, "The money isn't mine. It belongs to the poor."
Okay, that just gave me goosebumps. John, if you had to pick one lesson we can all learn from Edhi, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy. Edhi's biggest message was, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He didn't make excuses. And I think that applies to everything in life. Want to learn English? Start speaking today, even if you make mistakes? Want to help someone? Do it, even if it's something small. Want to change your life? Begin now, not tomorrow, because small actions lead to big impact.
I love that. And you know what? Kindness doesn't need permission. You don't need to be rich, famous, or powerful to make a difference. You just need a heart willing to help. John, this has been such an inspiring conversation. To all our wonderful listeners, if this episode moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And tell us in the comments, what's one small way you can bring kindness into the world? Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making the world a better place.